Saturday at 7 on Your View. You're watching Your View.
Thank you for joining us. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Great friends, what's happening? It is a Tuesday afternoon here on Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man. We are broadcasting from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com, and Sammy's Restaurant and Bar now in 7 Mile Casino. Sammy's, a lot more than just pizza when they're inside 7 Mile Casino. Come on down and visit Bay Boulevard, minutes from downtown San Diego. Great poker, blackjack, college football games on Saturday, NFL games on Sunday. Phenomenal restaurant and bar with Sammy's and that view of the bay of Chula Vista. Come on down and visit 7 Mile Casino, 7milecasino.com. Okay, guys, let's just jump right in. Grande, Brown Man,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask both of you guys a question, and then we'll get to it. Here goes. The Padres and the Dodgers tonight for 3, and the Padres will finish off with the Giants for 3. So these were 2 series that literally like 60 days ago, we were circling on the calendar saying the whole season could come down to this. There could be positioning for the division title, for the wild card. But as we know, this whole thing blew up right in our faces, and the Padres are not playing for the wild card. They're not playing for the division. I don't even think they're attempting to play spoiler. If there's one thing I would suppose that the Padres are playing for right now, and no, Browner, it's not for Tatis to become the MVP, at least not in my opinion. The only thing I can see them even playing for right now is, hey, guys, let's finish above 500. What does that do for us? Not really anything. Makes me feel like a winner rather than a loser when it's all said and done. But I don't really know what this Padres team is playing for right now, so I'm going to throw it to you guys and ask this question. I did it myself there, Alex. I guess what I'm asking you guys is really ultimately with 6 games to go and against the 2 teams that are headed towards the playoffs, the 2 biggest division rivals that the Padres have, rival teams, rival cities, are you investing any more time into the Padres and these final 6 games? Will you be watching tonight when the Padres start this series against the Dodgers? Because my answer is I'm kind of addicted, and I don't think I can really help myself. I probably will watch the final 6 games. I will admit, tonight, I am headed down to the Mesa College in San Diego because my daughter's playing in a soccer game. So I'm not going to be watching. I'll probably be following on my phone. But to you guys, are you in? Are you out? Are you watching the final 6 Padre games? What do you guys say?
I'll tell you why I'm in. I would love to, it's not going to happen, but I would love the opportunity to sweep the Dodgers and knock them out for the NL West division title. That is my dream for these next 3 days. I don't think it'll happen because the Padres are playing so poorly and they have no pitching. Yu Darvish pitches tonight. He seems to do very well against the Dodgers. So I will tune in tonight. I will tune in the next 2 days because I always like Padres Dodgers. But if they get blown out today and the Dodger Stadium and Dodger fans are trolling like I would if I were them, probably you're going to lose me. But if they win today, I'm in, man. I mean, the ability to spoil the Dodgers season and you still need to finish above 500 just for your own pride, that'll get me to tune in today.
Okay. To the Brown Man.
No. Zero. No. I won't watch another game till they fire Tingler. Period. I'm not watching another game. Not a second. You will not get another.
Not
I won't
even
check
next
you,
year, huh?
I won't check your score on ESPN. I will watch the Tatis MVP speech. I'll watch that, but that's not necessarily Padres baseball. But that is Padre information being intaken by me, so I'll do that. But until they fire Tingler, no more time for me, bro. No more time. I refuse.
Hold on, I gotta lock you in on that statement though. You will not watch another Padres game until Jayce Tingler's fired.
Yes.
Okay, now
That includes next season if he's returned.
Yes, because I believe it will be the same result. I don't believe in rewarding people who continuously are bad at their jobs and yet you continue to let them do the job.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
So okay. Just want to again Alex, I like the phrase you used. You want to lock it in.
Mhm.
So lock it in.
So
like I locked in my interest rate. I want to lock it in.
right. So Joe Rigby, I know you're watching right now on YouTube. Okay, Joe, this is going to be another hot take.
He emails me every Friday with the updated Excel sheet.
Oh, nice.
Every Friday.
Nice.
You said a lot of things, dude.
Yeah, but this one's a good one. This is good.
I like this one.
I like Browner's position here. He will not watch another Padres game so long as Jayce Tingler is the manager of this ball club. I like it. Stand by it. I respect it. Live it. And I'm with you, Browner. Now, I'm going to watch games even if Jayce Tingler is the manager, because for me, I find that to be entertaining. But I like the fact that you're out. And, Alex, I find it super interesting that all year long, Browner was the hype man for the Padres. And he was going to kick you and me out. We're not invited to the World Series parade, as you recall.
Right.
You know?
Correct.
And yet, here I am.
And we laughed.
Being willing. Yeah.
World Series.
Right.
World Series.
Come on. We've been here before. We know this movie. We've seen it before many times.
Browner got his cherry popped.
Yep.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't.
You
say
got your
that
Padres
necessarily.
cherry popped.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
you
that
did.
necessarily.
You
man.
believed when we didn't believe because we
Hardcore
knew.
believe.
We knew
Yeah.
what was coming.
Yeah.
I believe.
We're like, we've seen this film before.
I believed because I thought that they had the roster to make it happen, and I still
And you
think that they
still
do.
do. Yeah, you believe they have the roster.
Yes,
You're not alone. And you're not alone, by the way.
And that's where the three of us differ. I believe that they have enough to win. I think that they were grossly mismanaged, and I think the injuries really got to them. I know other teams in the division had injuries as well, and they seem to figure it out. But again, they have better coaching. They had a better staff who was able to help tinker and pull and push in positions that we were not able to do so, and thus we have what we have.
Well, when I say you're not alone, I'm not talking about fans. Although, big time shout out to the fans because they saw this collapse in front of their eyes, and it was still a packed Petco almost every night.
Yeah.
Like Saturday, Sunday, nothing to play for, and that place was rocking. Anyway,
I still think a lot of people are like me. That when I said I used the word addicted, I'm addicted to the season. There's only 6 games left to go. I feel like I've come this far. I got to see it all the way through. And I feel like there are a lot of Padre fans that never believed that this magnitude of a collapse was really coming. So they bought their tickets, they made their plans, and going to Petco Park was always a lot of fun, even when the Padres completely stunk. So now it's like, okay, they've fallen apart, but I still like to go and I still like to support. But
I mean, I get it. I was there on Friday for both 1.5 games. So.
Yeah.
But what I mean by you're not alone, Browner, is that Jayce Tingler also thinks that they have the roster to compete next year as well.
You and Jayce Tingler are very like-minded, Browner. I don't know why you're giving up on the guy.
Stop it. He shouldn't have fumbled the bag then. Listen, the only thing him and I both have in common, we be terrible managers. The only difference is he got the opportunity to actually be terrible at the job. I never will. It's the only thing we got in common.
Well, Jayce Tingler spoke earlier today as the Padres are getting set to take on the Dodgers and then the Giants, final 6 games of the season, games that, again, we thought would be really meaningful that have turned into complete waste of time. Again, for those of us that are addicted, and we're going to see this thing till the end of the marathon, but these games are meaningless for the Padres unless you think that Tatis can win the MVP in the final 6 games, as Browner believes, and none of us do other than Browner. And if you think that finishing above 500 is some, lofty goal that they still want to achieve. But earlier today, Jayce Tingler spoke to the media, and Alex has pulled a couple of sound bites. 2 of them. All right. He's going to play them for us. We're going to have a chance to comment on what Jayce Tingler said. Let's take a look and a listen.
This is the roster one. What does he think about the roster next year? What do they need?
Overall depth, obviously, you're going to need pitching, and then we're going to need bounce back from a group of our players. We think we've got from a position player standpoint, we think we've got a group to win championships. We obviously have to make some minor adjustments. We've got to have guys perform, up to what they're capable of doing, a bigger group of that. And so, but from, who it is, who comes in, I think we'll have a little bit of flexibility to bring in some guys, but I don't think we're as far off as maybe at times what it feels.
I don't know who's doing this interview on Sirius satellite radio.
This is Sirius XM, and I don't know the host, but it is called MLB Power Alley.
I don't know, dude, but somebody's breathing real heavy into the microphone, and it's very annoying. Very annoying. Seriously, like I thought it was one of us, you know, and it was like, goodness, guys, can you get away from the mic? Seriously, like my daughter who's 14 complains to me every day about two things that I do. She hates the way I breathe, which I don't really hear it. Now, on occasion, I might find myself taking a big old deep breath, and I actually do hear it. Like if I'm like, I don't know, I'm taking a big deep breath. I can hear that. But she complains about my breathing all the time. And I'll tell you the other thing my 14-year-old daughter complains about all the time, and it really is offensive. I got to be honest with you. She's like, she's like, I can't stand the way you chew. She's like, the way you chew and the noise that you make when you're chewing, I can't stand it. Please stop. And I'm like, so you don't want me to breathe and you don't want me to eat. You must not want me here. Yeah.
Those are real important things, young lady. You might need those two things to make it. You got to eat and you got to breathe.
All right. Let's hear a little more from what the Padres manager
former general manager Jim Duquette and Mike Farron.
All right. Well, one of those two guys, or maybe both of them, man, those dudes can breathe really loud. Both. That's right. All right. Now, what's
the second clip? I'm sure all three of us have an opinion on it. They asked him, what is your self-assessment of the job you have done so far this season?
Oh, this is easy.
Jayce, what are those things that you feel like you want to work on as you assess yourself?
Well, I think, looking back, I think there were some areas I could have done a better job and taken charge of. I think I could have done a better job with, handling confrontation and tough conversation. Of course, communication and all those things. As you look back, I wish there were some things I would have hit, head on. And these are some of the things I'm going to be better at, going forward.
All right. Well, again, I don't know what he said because I was focused in on whoever was breathing into the microphone the way they were. Good God, man!
You hear that?
I know. God, it was just brutal. But Jayce Tingler's right. He will be better in the future at handling tough situations. Hopefully, it will not be with the Padres. Hopefully, he'll gain his experience. He got his 2-year degree from the Padres, and he can go be a manager somewhere else. But the admission of, I didn't handle things head on. Let me explain why he didn't handle things head on. Because no one respected him. Okay? Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis, Will Myers, Eric Hosmer, I'm just using those 4 guys as an example. They don't respect him. They don't look at him and say, like us, he's a former major league player who had a nice career. He really worked his way up to the top to get to a managerial position. He's a guy that I feel like I can really trust, because he's got my back. Instead, the players look at him and here's what they see. They see a guy who was not really one of their peers because he didn't really have a major league playing career. That's okay. Other guys have not necessarily been Hall of Famers who've been good managers, but they look at him and they go, he really wasn't one of us per se. They also look at him and say, he didn't really work his way up through the system necessarily, and certainly not through the organization system. And third, we don't trust him because we know that he was placed and picked by the general manager to come babysit us and then to go tattletale and report upstairs. And we know he's got no power, no authority. He doesn't control who plays where and when. So the players look at Jayce Tingler and they don't respect him. That's the final word, is the players don't respect him. So he could try and handle things head on. But Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis, veteran players and superstar players and big money guys, they're not going to respect him in the future because they already didn't respect him in the past. He can't change that. That's done. And so, again, in the future, he may be better at handling things, but I'm hopeful that it won't be with the Padres. What do you guys think?
This guy will be a great manager on a team that's not he would be a great manager on the Baltimore Orioles. He'd be fantastic as a manager with zero expectations and zero personalities. I don't want to knock him for admitting what he did wrong because I think one of the parts of improvement is acknowledging where you made mistakes. I fully understand that. I do it all the time. But you've got to be kidding me. That you put this franchise in the hands to guide it of that man. And you knew that. The upper management knew that this guy had deficiencies in very important areas. Like these guys didn't need him to coach them on hitting. They're not gonna like baseball's difficult. You don't really want to throw a guy off and when it comes to hitting because baseball players are so routine. So his job was to keep the temperature of the room light or happy or whatever made them go. That was his responsibility, and he couldn't do it.
Right, but
He
Browner,
couldn't do it.
but Browner, if you look at a guy like Phil Jackson, who's considered by many to be the greatest coach that the NBA has ever known, you might knock that and say, yeah, but he had Shaq and he had Kobe and he had Michael and he had Scotty and he had all these great teams. So he wasn't really that great of a coach. But you see, what Phil Jackson did is he managed personalities. And Jayce Tingler doesn't have the ability that Phil Jackson had. He doesn't have the resume. He doesn't have the respect. So I'm with you, Alex. He certainly doesn't sound like a guy that's going to be getting fired anytime soon.
which is to me, which is incredibly disappointing because I think the thing, obviously, I've said that this roster needs to be not overhauled, but it needs significant improvements in key positions. But I also think that he has experience now, but it's not like you can't regain the trust of the clubhouse. How about that? I think he's already lost it. I think he never had it. And I think that's the problem with AJ Preller and his hirings. He's hiring guys that are yes men to AJ. They're not going into this clubhouse to take control and guide them through an entire season. You have to, that is the baseball manager's most important jobs. I have always said there's no tangible facts of why Tingler is a terrible or good manager because we're not in the clubhouse where you talk to the guys through slumps, where you let guys handle the things that they can handle within, or when you need to intervene. Those are things that we can't see, but you could tell Tingler never was qualified to do that for the Padres, as was AJ Green. So Andy Green.
There you go.
I'm mixing AJ. So if you go out and you get a veteran manager, you at least give yourself the chance of him having some semblance of control over the clubhouse, which clearly was a lot more fractured than any of us knew.
Right. In other words, Andy Green, same exact problems that Jayce Tingler had, Andy Green had. But if you would have hired a Dave Roberts, which the Padres wouldn't even give him the consideration, I'm just using it as an example. If you would have hired Dave Roberts, the players would have respected Dave Roberts as a player and as somebody who had been working his way up in the organization. If you hired Mark Loretta, I'm using an example, the players would have known him. He would have been around. He was working as a front office exec. He was a guy who had a very solid playing career, someone that you would respect. They have not respected the last two managers. And in part, in my opinion, it's because they don't trust the front office. They know that the front office is just placing a babysitter in the clubhouse. And anytime, it was kind of like any job you have. If you have a middle manager, somebody who's in between you and the real boss, a lot of times you just don't trust that person because you always feel like they're just kind of looking over your shoulder to report upstairs.
Alex, you just said that he now has experience. That is correct. But where he got his experience at, they will never trust him again because they saw.
I said that.
No, you just said he gained experience with the Padres.
He did.
Right, but he lost respect and he'll never get it back, is what I said after.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. And I'm saying
Right.
that's why he can't work here no more.
Right.
That's why.
I agree with
that's
you.
why his next job has to be somewhere else because
Right.
he did gain
Go
that
be a
experience
bench-
here.
Right,
But he
yeah.
cannot now rebound off that.
No, he can't
go back
he
in
can't
that
go back
locker
in.
room.
Right.
No.
Agreed. We're all on the same page. This is a shocking development.
He is admitting all the reports that we've
Yes.
read in the last week or
Yes.
two.
Yes.
He's admitting that, yes, I did not take control.
Right.
The guys were self-managing.
Yep.
Or Schumacher was doing it,
Who?
or the player development coach was butting in between, not me, because I'm leading the league in ejections. I'm standing up for my guys because I'm leading the league in ejections. That's not valuable to anybody.
I know. And
Standing
look,
up
again,
for him
it's,
and standing up to them is two different things.
yes, that's a very good point. Very good point. Standing up to them versus standing up for them are two very good line, Browner. A wise man once said that. A smart man.
That's right.
A great man
All of them
once
at one
said that.
table.
Yeah. Hey, listen, later on in today's show, for the first time, you're going to meet Dr. Samir Damani from iThrive MD. And I want to say to all the guys out there, this is about your health. It's about my health. It's about all of our health. It's about our longevity. So when you say to me, well, why are you bringing on the doctor from iThrive MD? Because they're an advertiser on the show. Yeah, they are. But I'm telling you right now, he's working with NFL players. He's working with professional mixed martial artists. And he's working with regular guys just like you and me to help keep us healthy and to give us a long, hopefully healthy life. As we get a bit older, our testosterone levels drop. And when that happens, it's not just low sex drive or depression or muscle loss. It's a lot of other physical ailments that come along as a result of having low testosterone. Dr. Samani will stop by today. He'll talk to us for the first time about the benefits of testosterone. I know that I'm taking these NAD injections, which is all about maximizing energy and metabolism. He'll talk to us about that. And he'll talk to us about pro athletes that are on his website and willing to let him use their name in association with this sort of treatment. So Dr. Samir Damani will be with us a little bit later on from iThrive MD, and we'll give you a lot more information coming up. All right, stick around. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. I want to go from baseball. I'd like to jump into a little football coming up next.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
Kaplan and Crew tonight is brought to you by BMW San Diego, your certified BMW dealer, serving drivers throughout San Diego and the surrounding areas.
Rich Eisen here, inviting you to catch my show, The Rich Eisen Show, on our flagship radio station, the mightier 1090. We're on every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to noon Pacific time. You'll like what you hear. If not, that's just, I guess, too bad.
A new generation of radio. The all-new and mightier 1090.
SDCCU is an engaged community partner. Each year, SDCCU is proud to support many nonprofit organizations throughout Southern California. Our partnerships allow us to help shape the financial lives of many through volunteerism, financial support, and creating public awareness. The result is a big impact on the communities we serve. SDCCU, it's not big bank banking, it's better. Federally insured by NCUA. Find out more at sdccu.com.
Great things can be achieved when a community comes together. Join Erica Cardenas on Doing More as she introduces you to ordinary people working side by side to confront tremendous challenges and make a positive impact in their community. Watch Doing More Sunday night at 6 on YourView or stream it online at yourview.com. Join the Walk for Alls at Balboa Park on October 16th. Every dollar raised stays local to help San Diegans with dementia. Register at alzsd.org/walk.
This year, Jobtoberfest is Wednesday, October 13th. It's the largest annual job fair in San Diego County for people with disabilities. Let's hear from one of our major sponsors.
At Marsty, we recognize the value that individuals with disabilities, as well as those in recovery from substance use, can bring to the workforce, especially to those who want to or are currently counseling those with disabilities and substance use disorder. Marsty is proud to partner with Jobtoberfest.
Up to 30% of COVID-19 patients become long haulers with persistent symptoms months after the infection.
What I've been finding with my patients is that it's taking up to 3 to 6 months for them to recover their endurance, exercise capacity, and get them back to work or to their usual activities of daily living.
What I wasn't able to do was the basic needs, like brush your teeth, take a shower because of the shortness of breath, the tightness in my chest.
The symptoms that concern me the most, the shortness of breath. So restrictive. You know, you go through and you just take for granted that, you know, you're gonna breathe. And when that gets taken away, it's a scary thought. Unfortunately, I'm 6 months out now from my diagnosis and I'm still suffering from several of the symptoms.
My experience with the patients I've sent to La Mesa Rehab has been extremely positive. The patients come back with good reports, and when I see them in the office, their exercise capacity has improved dramatically.
I'm getting there because of La Mesa Rehab.
Teatro means theater in Spanish, and in Portuguese, and in Tagalog, and in Italian, and in so many languages. We have a lot of communities, a lot of culture here, so that is the reason why teatro is in the name. The mission of Teatro San Diego is to provide arts education to underserved communities, specifically in schools. Our goal is also in tandem with arts education to provide a professional theater company and dance company so that the community can see themselves reflected on stage at the professional level. Places like Subaru have really been so supportive and have helped us come up with projects like the AMI project.
I was so honored to be at an event a few days ago and heard some of the songs from it. These guys rock. This is just an amazing thing that everyone needs to see.
Hey, Dave Smith here. Make sure you listen to my show on the Mightier 1090, 6 to 10 p.m. Saturday and Sunday night. The only local sports talk in all of Southern California on the weekends, right here on the Mightier 1090.
The all-new and mightier 1090. Adventure is waiting for you at BMW San Diego. A new 2022 BMW X3 xDrive 30i waiting for you today when you lease for only $519 per month plus tax. BMW San Diego, Kearny Mesa Road and the 163.
This year, Jobtoberfest is Wednesday, October 13th. It's the largest annual job fair in San Diego County for people with disabilities. Let's hear from one of our major sponsors.
At Marsty, we recognize the value that individuals with disabilities, as well as those in recovery from substance use, can bring to the workforce, especially to those who want to or are currently counseling those with disabilities and substance use disorder. Marsty is proud to partner with Jobtoberfest.
Nothing about the last year was normal, but you weathered it with grace, ingenuity, and creativity. In empty classrooms and full Zooms, you kept it together when we were apart. For all that you are, for all that you do, we salute you. Salute to Teachers is proudly sponsored by these charitable companies.
Adventure is waiting for you at BMW San Diego. A new 2022 BMW X3 xDrive 30i waiting for you today when you lease for only $519 per month plus tax. BMW San Diego, Kearny Mesa Road and the 163.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
Orange County Soccer Club got the win against the Oakland Roots 2-1 last weekend. OCSC got the last-minute goal from Miko Kaningas to get the victory. The 3 points OCSC earned gave them a 7-point difference at third in the division ahead of fourth place Oakland. Dylan Powers earned USLChampionship.com Man of the Match honors and was named honorable mention to the USL Championship Team of the Week. Powers had the assist on Kaningas' game-winning goal, completed 57 of 68 passes, and won 10 of 14 duels in the center of midfield. The Pacific Division leading Phoenix Rising will be visiting Orange County for the first time this season as they match up on Saturday. Catch the action right here on Your View. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew Tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Your View.
Here it comes, Jalen Johnson. 3 touchdowns on the night.
Watch out.
And brought down right at the line of scrimmage.
To the end zone. Christakis pulls it in. What a catch!
Over the middle, right there in his hand. They throw down towards the end zone. In stride, touchdown, total. Thibodeau breaks another tackle. Big run up the middle. Touchdown. Stadium in San Diego. It has been a sellout the last few days. Royal SC ready to kick off this season. Stadium in San Diego. Professional soccer has finally arrived.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Great friends on a Tuesday afternoon. This is Kaplan and Crew along with Grande and the Brown Man broadcasting on the radio airwaves of the Mightier 1090. Our home base is our YouTube channel, Kaplan and Crew on YouTube, and you'll catch us with us tonight on television, Channel 4 San Diego, Channel 4 Santa Barbara. If you are in Palos Verdes or Orange County, it's Channel 118, all part of the Cox Your View Network. And as always, you can catch us on any of the audio podcast platforms. We were talking a bunch of baseball in the last segment, and the Padres and Jayce Tingler, and whether or not he should be fired, or if he sounds like a guy who's going to be fired. He certainly does not in an interview he gave earlier today. And I said I wanted to talk a little football coming up, which I do. But before we do, hey, guys, do you guys know the name Christian Hogan? Does that name sound familiar to you guys?
Is that Hulk's evil twin?
Well, let me tell you something, brother. No, I don't know for sure if it is or it isn't.
Every time I hear the last name Hogan, I'm like, okay, they're related to the Hulk.
I know. I feel the same way. Hey, by the way, speaking of Hulk Hogan, we're not really speaking of Hulk Hogan, but speaking of wrestling, did you guys know that? Did you guys know that last week? I didn't know this. Somebody told me this, and I had to go look it up. And I honestly, I was like, I had to turn away.
Racist?
I was like, I had to turn away. No, not about Hulk Hogan. Did you guys know that Ric Flair was kind of caught up last week in a whole cancel culture sort of controversy? Did you guys know this?
No.
I love your reactions.
No.
I love both of your reactions because that was exactly my reaction. Somebody told me, they're like, well, yeah, Ric Flair got canceled. I'm like, canceled by who? They're like, cancel culture.
Not by me.
Yeah.
Canceled from what?
Well, right. But we need to do some digging on this. And I'll tell you that in tomorrow's show, we should spend a segment on Ric Flair being canceled from what and for what. Because I saw Ric Flair's tweets where he kind of came back and was fighting against this cancel culture that was coming after him. I think, you know what? I'm not even going to tell you what I think because I'm not even sure that I know. I mean, I literally read it for a second. I was like, no, not Ric Flair. Ric Flair can't be part of the cancel culture. No, I won't have it. I can't have that in my life. I don't want to know that he's been canceled. I want to continue to love Ric Flair. So I turned away from it. So I think tomorrow we should definitely take a minute to try and figure out what happened to Ric Flair. Are you guys both like looking at this right now on Google?
Yes.
You guys are.
Yes. I need to know. I can't wait.
From 2006?
Wait, what is it? You said you're going to cancel him over something that happened in 2006?
Yeah.
What are you reading?
I'll look into it after the show.
I'm just dying to know what you're reading, though, right now.
There's Ric Flair apologizes for Chris Canyon's comments following Dark Side of the Ring. Ric Flair has apologized for what he said to Chris Canyon on the Howard Stern show in 2006.
I don't know who Chris Canyon is.
Is this what he got canceled for?
What are you reading, Browner? What are you seeing?
It's time to move on from Ric Flair.
Yeah.
From Deadspin by Sam Fields. Dark Side of the Ring reveals sex assault horror story.
What is Dark Side of the Ring? Is that something that I do remember
probably.
No, I don't know. There was a 30 for 30 that Ric Flair was featured in. But I don't know what the Dark Side of the Ring is. Is it a movie? Is it a documentary? Is it a podcast?
Probably some documentary.
And who's Chris Canyon?
A wrestler from back in the day who claims he was fired from the WWE because he was gay. And
it's on Vice TV, so they probably do stories about people who have been kicked out of wrestling or what happens outside of the ring of wrestling.
I don't know what Vice TV is either. Yeah. So, all right, tomorrow we'll dig a little deeper into this. But okay, here's what happened. I mentioned to you guys, this is the ADD mind. Okay, excuse me, everybody.
Finding truth at the intersection of fantasy and reality in the veiled world of professional wrestling. We should get Anthony Idol on to talk about that.
You got to be.
Sounds like it's right up your alley, Scott.
Let me tell you something right now. If you're a pro wrestling fan, I can't even believe that you would have the audacity to even consider canceling Ric Flair. Okay, I mean, come on. This is like one of the guys who actually built the business, So I got to learn more about the story. But like I said, I turned away from it last week. Let me get back to why I brought this up. So I got a direct message yesterday on Facebook, direct messenger, from Neil Umshed Jr. I cannot say Neil's last name. Umschheid. Umscheid. Neil from the Kaplan and Crew YouTube chat. Neil is one of the all-time great friends. He sends me this message yesterday, and here's what he tells me. He said, "Hey, can you promote this for a great friend?" And I'm like, what are we talking about? He said, "Christian Hogan, who is another one of the guys who you see every day on the YouTube
Shout
chat."
out Christian.
Right. Is bad news.
He gets
His 34-year-old stepdaughter. So I don't know how old Christian is, but his 34-year-old stepdaughter died in a single car crash last week, a week ago today. And she has a 13-year-old and a 16-year-old. And Christian Hogan is really in our chat like every day. He's a part of the Kaplan and Crew YouTube familia. Okay. So of course I asked some questions like, well, like what happened? And because it's terrible, tragic news. And according to Neil, Christian hasn't said exactly what happened. He said, but if you could put this out there for the great friend to donate, I'm sure he would appreciate it. So he sent me a GoFundMe link that they've set up for the children of the daughter, the stepdaughter. And apparently the first thing that they're trying to do is to help financially with funeral related arrangements. So here it is. This is from Samantha. This is the sister of Erica, who is one of the people. I don't know who's who. You'll have to excuse me, everybody. I got this in a direct message, but I'll do anything to help the great friends. And sister died in a car crash, and they are raising money as best they can to help the family with funeral arrangements. And what they say here is any money that's left over from the funeral will immediately go to the children. So this was just created a few days ago. They're trying to raise somewhere in the neighborhood of about $11,000. I'm estimating here, but they're at about the $5,000 range. Look, here's the thing.
If you're
Go ahead, Alex.
If you are in the YouTube, if you're
Yeah.
watching the show on YouTube, I will put the link
Okay,
in the
cool.
description.
Thank you for that. Look,
you can
for
just
those of
click
you
it.
that are just catching up to us on radio, and I doubt that there's all that many new people coming to radio, but for those of you that are checking us out on television and you don't know the history of the show, what I'll just tell you is this. The radio show, even though it was in a different iteration back then, went on the airwaves when there was just radio back in 2001. It's 20 years. Okay. We've created real relationships with many of our listeners. And when somebody in our audience, in our family, is going through hard times, not necessarily meant to be a wrestling reference off the Hogan Flair conversation, but when somebody in our audience is going through hard times, we all want to step up and give a hand. And Christian Hogan is there every day in the YouTube chat. And so, Alex, like I said, if you could just put that up on the screen one more time, because there's a lot of people on television on Channel 4 and Cox's Your View network. They're going to hear about this and go, that's terribly sad and so tragic. And whether you can donate $10, $50, $100, or you can just send positive vibes and love, feel free. But Christian Hogan, we're thinking about you. And hey, Neil, that's you're a mensch, my brother. You really are, for sending me that information and for helping me give everybody this info to hopefully help Christian. So good job out of you, Neil. Appreciate you, pal. All right, let's jump right back into it, guys. Last night was Monday Night Football. And I don't know about you guys, but I never turned on the ESPN telecast, the Louis Riddick, Steve Levy, Brian Greasy, traditional Monday Night Football telecast. I have to admit it. My boy Louis Riddick's going to hear this and not be real happy with me, but I don't know what it is. I find that me watching the game with Peyton and Eli and then their series of guests. I liked Matthew Stafford yesterday evening. I liked LeBron James in the afternoon. I liked, is it Chris Long? I know there's two Long brothers. Chris Long,
Yes.
which I thought was fascinating, by the way. You got Peyton and Eli, who are Pro Football Hall of Fame brothers, whose father is kind of, NFL royalty. Not that Archie Manning was the greatest quarterback of all time, but look what he brought to the NFL and will continue to bring to the NFL. And for Chris Long and his brother, I don't know the brother's name. I don't remember it offhand, but their father's Howie Long. So, here you have these two sets of brothers whose fathers are what I call NFL royalty. And in Howie Long's case, a Pro Football Hall of Famer. So I just find that I feel like I'm watching the game. Me, Peyton, and Eli are all watching the same game, and a couple of their buddies stop by, and I'm on the other end of the phone, and LeBron's hanging out, and I find it to be very entertaining. I can watch a very standard run-of-the-mill NFL broadcast all day Sunday. I can see Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. I can see Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. I can get the run-of-the-mill standard NFL broadcast on Sunday. But on Monday night, I like hanging with the Manning brothers. What are you guys watching?
I enjoy it. I thought Nick Saban was probably the worst interview they've had so far, but that's because he has poor lighting and his internet. I mean, the guy's got all that money, doesn't have good internet. If I work at ESPN on Monday Night Football, I am really upset with the people who created this because this is a better product. This is what people would prefer to be a part of on a Monday Night Football telecast. And I think if this is done correctly going forward, this is the way games will be presented. This is a far better way to watch football. It's not scripted to a certain extent. It's not cookie cut. It kind of goes how it goes. You just need the right two people to pull it off. And I love it. I watch that way more than, and I love Louis Riddick. I'm not a Greasy fan. And I think all you need is one person in that booth to turn the channel. And Greasy did it for me. And so I'm on to the Manning brothers.
I think that it is a fantastic way to watch football when you're A, by yourself, and B, you don't care about the game. There is zero chance I'm watching that when the Vikings are on Monday Night Football. If I'm invested in the game,
Why though?
I need because I don't want to listen to breakdowns. I want to watch the game. I'm an educated enough fan where I don't need it broken down for me. But I do love how the Manning brothers treat us like we're educated fans, where they're not explaining like the basic ABCs. But if I care about the game, I don't want to listen intently to what the Manning brothers are saying. I want to watch the action of the game. But I love it. And so yesterday was their first blowout, and they did fine, because one of the most difficult things we all know is when the game sucks, it turns into a talk show between the two guys. So I thought they did a fine job. And I love that already 3 weeks in, we had our first apology.
Okay, hold on. We'll get to that in a second. But two things come to mind. First of all, it seems to me like you've already made a decision that you're on to football season, that baseball season is over, that the Padres are done, and that it doesn't look like you're really into the Dodgers or the Giants or the Cardinals, or it just doesn't look to me like you care about the baseball postseason. You've already given up on baseball and you've gone to football. Am I wrong, Grande?
That is correct.
Oh, I'm right.
Yeah.
Okay, and you know how the evidence, Browner, do you notice something different about Grande's studio today?
Oh yeah, he put that ugly sweater up. Nobody want to see that shirt. Get that out of here.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Grande had his Padres swag chain T-shirt for months. He had his swag chain T-shirt draped over his Callaway golf clubs that seem to be collecting a lot of dust, or at least are just performing beautifully as a prop.
I wipe them off all the time.
Well, shout out to my man Jason Finley and everybody up at Callaway Golf, sending you guys a whole bunch of love. I got a lot of people who this past weekend must have been listening to the.
I need some wedges.
You need
Jason.
wedges? You have no idea. I have 2 broken golf clubs in my bag. I got to go up to Callaway.
Man, I need a whole golf set, bro. I need all the sticks.
Why? You ain't playing.
The only.
I ain't got no sticks. I can't play.
The only stick I got from wedge form is a pitching wedge.
No,
right now,
I need
so
a 60
I'm
degree.
useless with.
I need a 56 degree. I need a new 52
bag.
degree.
I need
an A wedge. I need a pitching.
I think associates.
Can Jason hook it up with a couple wedges? He always
Jason
like candy at Halloween.
Jason runs the wedges, balls, you name it. He runs it. But the thing is that I got a lot of people who sent me messages over the weekend. People must have been listening to the Ryder Cup on Sirius Satellite Radio on the PGA Tour channel. And, I've been doing all these commercials for Callaway. Like, hey, want to know how this guy became a champion of this tournament? It's the Callaway driver, blah, blah, blah. And people are hearing those spots on Sirius Satellite Radio. And people are hitting me up like, did I just hear your voice on a Callaway golf commercial? I'm like, you did. You did. I read that. I read that
Why
script.
Can't you then get me a bag of clubs, man? Give me a bag of them sticks, bro.
Okay, I will.
You the one I'm talking to.
Okay, I will. I'm happy to do it. As the voice of Callaway Golf, I'm happy to do it.
That's right.
So I noticed that Alex has given up on baseball because he's got his Vikings shirt or blanket or something draped over his golf clubs now.
That's not exactly what happened. But
well, what happened? You mean you had the swag chain shirt there forever? What happened?
Right. The swag chain shirt my fiance wanted to wear to the game on Friday, and she spilled some alcohol on it, so it got dirty. and I noticed that there was no shirt on there yesterday
Mhm.
during the show, and I was like, well, that one's dirty, but this one's not, so
Mhm.
let's just put this one on.
My swag chain T-shirt has turned into a 14-year-old little girl's nightgown, pajamas.
There you go.
Yeah. Now, I
You can
also
do that,
noticed,
though.
and I'm going to get back to football here and get back to the Mannings in 1 second. I also noticed behind you over your right shoulder and underneath your TV,
Mhm.
check me on this, but is that the new sided hat that you have back there that you're displaying? I can't
Yes.
see it
Over there.
because it's facing the opposite direction.
Right. I walked out of the room and I tipped it with my hip. I'll straighten it out.
Well, can you grab it for a second? Those are how do you guys like the new sided hats, the new sided T-shirts? We got to start giving them away to great friends.
Doesn't fit under my hair.
I have a giant dome, so it doesn't fit on my head.
Really?
You got the small mediums. I need, when it comes to the one size fits all.
I never knew that there was a difference in size, and that's a Fat Tony production right there. Those sided hats look sweet.
Sweet.
Yeah, those are looking good.
I got too much hair.
I know.
I got 2 hats. See?
Yeah,
Over.
nice. All right, hey, listen, I want to get back to the Manning brothers, and I will in just 1 second. But I do want to say, hey, Corky's Pest Control, 1-800-901-1102 is the phone number. But as Corky's television commercials tell you all the time now, it's super easy. Just Google one word. That one word is Corky's. You don't have to Google pest control. You don't have to Google San Diego pest control, Southern California pest control. You don't have to Google termites or ants or anything else. Just Google one word. That one word is Corky's. And when you get to Corky's website, you're going to find out there is so much information there because you don't know about bugs. I don't know anything about bugs, but Corky knows everything about bugs. And you say, well, how do you know he knows everything? Corky's the guy that wrote the textbook that every pest control technician on the planet now reads, studies, is tested on, etc. Corky, Miser, the person, the human being, he actually wrote the textbook. So if you're going to trust the guy who wrote the textbook that every other pest control company uses. You got ant problems, spiders, rodents, termites. Nobody beats Corky's prices. Nobody beats his 4-year guarantee when it comes to termites. Nobody beats his service and his professional people that come to your home. He's the best. That's why he's been at it for over 40 years in Southern California. Call 1-800-901-1102.
Corky's.
Nicely done. Very nicely done. All right, back to the Manning brothers and their Monday Night Football broadcast. This is really not about the Cowboys and a big win last night over Philadelphia. It is more about the Mannings. Alex, show us some highlights of the Manning brothers last night. Let's
Yeah.
see what you pulled out for us.
Let's start off with, this is TV. I don't know if I can show that.
Oh, right.
Let's start off with the hips don't lie.
Oh, a lot of dancing. Wow. I don't know what that is. That's new to me. I'm too old school.
That's the Tom House stuff, Pate. Here, I'll show you, Pate. It's about creating torque.
Good.
Right? It's about creating. You close the left hip, open up that right hip. Close the left shoulder, open up the hip. Boom, boom, boom. These hips don't lie. I'm like Shakira. The hips don't lie, Pate. That's why I could throw it further than you. My hips are looser.
So Peyton Manning and Eli Manning are watching Dak Prescott's pregame warm-up where he does these like dance gyration moves. And Eli Manning looks pretty good doing it. And I think it's pretty funny the way he's always ribbing Peyton.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, that's why I can throw the ball further than you because my
Nonstop.
hips open. Yours don't.
He had a
Yeah, when it
hip
first
stain
started?
on one end.
Yeah.
On one, just the first one. He gave him crap for that. He gives him crap about his head all the time. His dad was on with the couch with him. They both started ripping Peyton. It's great.
I love it.
One thing that we could all agree, I think the three of us agree on this. Mike McCarthy is terrible with time management.
Oh, it was beautiful. last
And
night.
it was, dude, Peyton Manning just ripped him. This is a short clip, but there was a longer clip of them ripping Mike McCarthy in his play calling. But this is right before.
Or make
Dallas
Dallas
ought to
use a
call timeout. Dallas needs to call timeout.
I don't think they probably don't know if Philly's going to go for it or not, right? You
Doesn't
get
matter.
nervous there.
Call timeout, Mike.
Call time.
Call
That's
time out, Mike.
Do you guys agree that their assessment of the game is unfiltered? They're not like ripping guys, but they're down to criticize them without worrying about repercussion.
What they're
I think
doing-
that gives me that to me that attracts me a
They're
lot.
Hall of Fame quarterbacks who sound like fans. That's what's so cool about it.
What they're doing and the beauty in it is they're just simply calling what they see.
Mm-hmm.
So they're giving you the perspective of if I was at home watching this, this is what I would be doing. Mike, call a timeout. What are you doing? You should call a timeout, because most people who are watching the game feel that way, are screaming, call a timeout, call a timeout. And then you hear these guys doing it, and it just validates it. So I think that's why. And you will never get that broadcast on the Monday Night Football actual broadcast. They're never going to scream, Mike, call a timeout. So this is why I would prefer to watch this.
Yeah. I mean, this is where on the regular broadcast, Louis Riddick could say something like, if I were Mike McCarthy, I'd be calling a timeout. Right. But instead, you got Peyton Manning going, call a timeout. What are you doing, man? Come on. Call a timeout, Mike. I love it. I think it's fun. I really do. I have stopped on Monday Night Football. I have stopped watching the standard Monday Night Football ESPN telecast, and I'm now part of the growing audience on ESPN2 that is watching the Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, unfiltered Hall of Fame quarterbacks become fanboys. I love it. Peyton and Eli, I'm absolutely loving what you guys are doing. All right, stick around. John Clayton, the professor, our NFL insider, stopping by. We are in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. That's coming up next.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
Kaplan and Crew tonight is brought to you by BMW San Diego, your certified BMW dealer, serving drivers throughout San Diego and the surrounding areas.
Hey, it's Pharrell here, inviting you to catch my shows on the Mightier 1090. We're on twice every Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. and 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific. Trust me, all the other sports stations are sleeping with your wife.
The all-new and mightier 1090. Adventure is waiting for you at BMW San Diego. A new 2022 BMW X3 xDrive 30i waiting for you today when you lease for only $519 per month plus tax. BMW San Diego, Kearney Mesa Road and the 163.
This year, Jobtoberfest is Wednesday, October 13th. It's the largest annual job fair in San Diego County for people with disabilities. CAES is one of our major sponsors.
Case is excited to be a partner of this year's Jobtoberfest. At Case, we believe that our people are our most important asset and value the talent that individuals with disabilities bring to our organization. Join our team and launch your career at Case. Hope to see you there.
Nothing about the last year was normal, but you weathered it with grace, ingenuity, and creativity. In empty classrooms and full Zooms, you kept it together when we were apart. For all that you are, for all that you do, we salute you. Salute to Teachers is proudly sponsored by these charitable companies.
Adventure is waiting for you at BMW San Diego. A new 2022 BMW X3 xDrive 30i waiting for you today when you lease for only $519 per month plus tax. BMW San Diego, Kearney Mesa Road and the 163.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
Orange County Soccer Club got the win against the Oakland Roots 2-1 last weekend. OCSC got the last-minute goal from Miko Kaningas to get the victory. The 3 points OCSC earned gave them a 7-point difference at third in the division ahead of fourth place Oakland. Dylan Powers earned USLChampionship.com Man of the Match honors and was named honorable mention to the USL Championship Team of the Week. Powers had the assist on Kaningas' game-winning goal, completed 57 of 68 passes, and won 10 of 14 duels in the center of midfield. The Pacific Division leading Phoenix Rising will be visiting Orange County for the first time this season as they match up on Saturday. Catch the action right here on Your View. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Your View.
Arash Markazi here, inviting you to catch my show, The Arash Markazi Show, on the Mightier 1090. We are on every Monday through Friday from noon to 1 p.m. Pacific time. Join me and producer extraordinaire G. Wiley, where we chop up Los Angeles sports and try not to piss too many people off.
The all-new and mightier 1090.
From fitness to medical technology, explore how people are leading healthier lives on Your Health. Join Erica Cardenas as she introduces you to health experts and discover how our daily choices affect our well-being. Plus, learn simple tips for healthier living. Your Health, Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on YourView and YourView.com. Brought to you by La Mesa Rehab, improving the lives of those afflicted by chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Learn more at lamesarehab.com.
COVID vaccines are safe, convenient, and free, and they are effective at protecting you against the coronavirus. I'm Dr. Akilah Weber, a pediatric gynecologist and state assembly member, and I got the vaccine to protect my family. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and everyone who receives the vaccine helps us get one step closer to returning to normal. Go get your vaccine today. Visit myturn.ca.gov to find a site near you. Do it for yourself, your family, and for our community.
Live soccer is back. Watch Orange County Soccer Club, OC's highest level of professional soccer, live on YourView. Watch Orange County SC take on the Phoenix Rising FC, Saturday, October 2nd at 7. Watch world-class players and future stars. Transform your summer with a new family game night and outdoor fun all season long. Live soccer is back. Orange County SC versus the Phoenix Rising FC, Saturday, October 2nd at 7 on YourView.
At La Jolla Cosmetic, we try to help people achieve well-being, and we feel that it's not only important to look good, but also feel good inside. And honestly, what a better opportunity to help my community than being a supporter of an organization such as Las Patronas.
The mission of Las Patronas is to provide financial assistance to local nonprofits that are providing valuable community services in the areas of health, education, social services, and cultural arts. La Jolla Cosmetic has been one of our biggest supporters at Las Patronas, so we couldn't do what we do without their support.
You feel the need and you see the need because we go to visit each grant applicant.
Partnering with groups that are actually dedicated to help your community, it's the best thing that you can do as a responsible business.
Shelter to Soldier is 9 years young with a mission to save lives 2 at a time. We're adopting dogs from local shelters, training them for post 9/11 combat veterans, and we're able to donate these trained dogs to deserving veterans in need.
You know, I was in a very dark place. I was having suicidal thoughts, and I really needed an immediate help. We don't know if tomorrow is going to be there for us.
Shelter to Soldier is a nonprofit, and we're able to do the work that we do because of you, the community. Whether it's an individual donating $5 or whether it's a corporate donor like the Barnes firm that's supporting us and sponsoring multiple dogs that are going to make an impact in the veterans' lives in need.
Him by my side 24/7 has completely turned my life around. It's not just saving both of our lives, it has made an impact on myself, Nigel, my family, my work. So yes, they definitely have saved our lives.
Kaplan Accrued Tonight is brought to you by BMW San Diego, your certified BMW dealer, serving drivers throughout San Diego and the surrounding areas.
Save the Stork is an organization that equips pregnancy resource centers across the nation so that these pregnancy resource centers can reach more women facing unplanned pregnancies and provide them with holistic care, compassionate choices, and just an abundance of resources to support their decision to choose life. Save the Stork has been around for about 10 years. Most people know us by our Stork buses. A Stork bus is a mobile medical unit that's equipped with the state-of-the-art medical equipment as well as very knowledgeable and experienced medical professionals.
The buses enable them to reach areas where maybe there's not a pregnancy care center nearby. We are here to walk this journey with you so that you're not alone and to help you find your heart in all of this. And that means and that you're going to make a choice that is truly going to be something that years from now you're going to be proud of.
Attention, all dogs, cats, horses, tortoises, birds, pigs, and all other pets. Get your family members to sit, stay, and watch Animal Zone every Saturday at 9 p.m. right here on this channel and at animalzone.org.
Tune in Saturdays at 9 p.m. to watch Animal Zone right here on YourView.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio, SoCal Sports Talk.